All right, welcome back. We continue carrying over that Pirate topic. The next question would be, and this is one that people are going to talk about in this offseason. Chris Mueller, is the window closed, and what will this offseason look like for the Pirates?
They're not going to sign anybody of consequence that people want to see them sign. People are going to leave the team. People might get traded from the team, up to and including even Andrew McCutchen, who I think will get traded this offseason. I guess I kind of hedged there. It's going to make people angry, and the window, if it's not fully slammed shut, it's closed, and they're moving to lock the window at this point.
I'm sad. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm not joking around. I'm sad. We saw the best span of baseball a couple years ago that we may see in 40 years in this town. And that's the reality of it. And I think that one of the only ways that they can wrestle back some goodwill with the fan base, and even if they have to take a hit on it, is to go ahead and offer Andrew McCutchen a long-term extension right now. And to do that in this offseason.
Just offer?
Yeah, go ahead. And look, and I said this before, if he balks at it, if he doesn't like it, so be it. Then you do what the Steelers did and you make the offer public. You go ahead and you leak it out. But that's the only thing. What are you looking forward to in the minor leagues right now? What are you looking for? Tyler Glass now? Are you looking forward to a big hitter coming up? I mean, what is there to latch onto that's giving you hope?
Yeah, the reinforcements, the cavalry is not coming from Indianapolis anytime soon, Colin.
Austin Meadows pulled a hamstring running up to be the reinforcements, I think.
And, I agree with you. I think extending McCutchen is the key, but I think even if they make that offer, and even if McCutchen turns it down, which if I were Andrew McCutchen, I wouldn't even say, really, an extension now? No thanks. I would turn it down. And I think then what's going to happen is fans are going to turn on the Pirates either way, whether they make the offer or not, because they don't believe that even if it leaks out that it's necessarily true. But they
can't call them cheap because they're going to hold on to this cheap, and it's true right now. But if they make that offer, Chris, and McCutchen turns it down, at least it's a show of good faith.
Well, can't McCutchen, though, Colin, rebut it publicly and say, if he wants to play hardball right back at them, say, no offer was ever made?
Won't.
And then
he could, but yeah, I agree. He won't. He wouldn't do that, I don't think. But I think fans will do it on their own. I really think the level of trust with ownership with this franchise in the city of Pittsburgh is even lower than it was before the 3 years of winning, because they haven't seen the reinvestment, in their opinion, and they're not going to believe. Even if the Pirates say, well, we offered him $5 and $100, sorry,
right.
I don't think people will believe it.
I'm going to transition to something that happened last night, the fight, the big one in Vegas. Mayweather wins. It's a TKO. But, Colin, is this something that would be viewed as a success or not a success, given the fact that you're talking about a guy who's never fought in a boxing ring before, and he got the opportunity to do that?
I love America. There were 5 million pay-per-views. Conor McGregor sold this. He was brilliant. He was Ali-esque in the run-up. And not for one moment in that fight, not 1 millisecond, was Floyd Mayweather in any danger.
He was smiling.
He was not in any danger. This went for both guys exactly as planned. Mayweather let McGregor build it up. Then the fight happened, and Mayweather let him tire himself out. And everybody got rich. I love America.
I thought Mayweather humiliated or did like a disservice to the sport of boxing. Now, I'm biased. I like boxing a lot more than MMA, which I don't really follow. But there was a large part of me, knowing how Floyd Mayweather fights. I saw it written on Deadspin, Floyd Mayweather would go 9 rounds with a shower curtain because that's how he fights. I wanted him to knock Conor McGregor out in the first 2 minutes to kind of save face for boxing. The fact that he did the usual BS, Floyd Mayweather, I'll let you win the first 3 rounds and then you're not going to land a punch from round 5 onward, was not really a show here. I mean, I watched the fight. I ended up because somebody I knew was buying it and didn't want money from anybody. But I thought it was kind of comical in the end. Those two made a ton of money.
Right.
Yeah, it was every Floyd Mayweather fight ever. It was boring for large portions of it.
You don't think it was better than most?
Who bought the fight? Who bought the fight and who bought the event? I bought the pomp, not Bob, but I bought the pomp. I bought the
circus. You can't afford Bob.
Was it a Super Bowl-like event?
I didn't buy the fight. I bought the event. I bought coming into the ring with some gimp mask on. I bought all that stuff. That's what I wanted to see. The fight was inconsequential.
The real winner here was the IRS last night, first of all.
I love it. I love all of it.
And don't buy for a second that Floyd Mayweather won't come back for another fight if it means he can cash in by dancing for 10 rounds. He'll be back.
The way he spends money, he may need to come back.
Exactly.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about college football kicking off this weekend. We'll get some analysis about the 3 teams we follow most coming up next right here on The Showdown.